Alright, hi all. So, just made a video on how to make your first Desi. Now I want to do a video on how to set it up. Okay, so we'll get to that. Okay, so now I've cheated a little bit. I went and bought credits. Okay, I bought 19,000 credits, 2,500 GS. Yeah, that's cheating a little bit, but if you have the extra GS, I got the GS for free. It was not that big a deal. Anyway, so I went and did that. Now, I started with 19,000, ended up with 4,000, or I started with 19 million, almost 20 million, got down to 4 million. So really, to upgrade all my modules actually ended up costing me about, what, 15, 16 million. So just to let you know, so building your first Desi is one thing, getting all your modules down here and upgrading them, that's another. And I did do shortcuts, so that's optional. Okay, start here with capacitor. Okay, and you'll see I got some purple ones already made. Energy regeneration and pulse discharger. Now I'm going to go pulse discharger right here. Now obviously what that does gives me 10% weapon damage, but now it reduces my energy regen by about 10%, so I'm going to fix that. Use the increase by 23.5, so I get a net result of about, what, 13, 14%. And I get 10% damage on my main weapon, and I like that. And I like the main weapon damage because when I built this ship originally, my special module down here, I get a weapon damage by 20%. So I'm getting 20% there, 10% there. I also, oops, let's see, when I set this up, I got my main weapon damage increased by 10%. That was my level 4 bonus. So right now my experience level 4 out of 9. When I hit 4, I got main weapon damage increased by 10%. So far, I've got a 40% increase on main weapon damage. Okay, which is all good. Okay, now I'm going to shield. Now shield, the first thing I'm doing here is I would hover over every ship. I do this on every ship I do. Hover over this. Now you see this, by hovering over a ship you get a pop-up here. Now this pop-up, this is the advanced version. You can see here in options. If I go options, game, uh, and look, ship information here, full. Okay, there's full and brief. I want to be in full. Click OK, go back, hover over ship. You will see a full, nice picture there. I like that. Okay, so now I got a negative 15 point EM resistance and shield. I need to plug that first. Always do that first for shield and hull if you can. Okay, so EM diffuser 12. I already have one here. It's already purpled up, give me 53 points. Gonna throw that in there. Now, that puts me to 38 points of EM resistance. Very good. Okay, now I'm gonna go to shield. And I'm gonna go for some shield volume. Third one here. Do the shield splitter. Gonna add 56% shield volume. Okay, so my shield volume right now 57,200. Going to add 56% to that. It's going to reduce my acceleration by 39.4. The thing is you got to understand destroyers are very slow. They are slugs. They don't accelerate. They don't stop. They're slugs. So by reducing my acceleration by 39.4, I'm reducing, you know, a slug's acceleration to a slower slug's acceleration. It's not a big deal. Really won't notice the difference. Okay, hull. Again, I'll hover over here, see if I have any. I don't really have. I would like more kinetic and thermal resistance, but I'm not doing a resistance build. That's a completely different build. I'm doing a volume build. So first thing I'm doing here, reinforce. Well, I could go. So hover over here again. My lowest is kinetic resistance. So if I go up here, do reactive armor, yeah, I'll plug that. Okay. And then I'll come down here, I'll do reinforced beams for volume, hull strength volume. Go over here, armor plated hull. And again, now here I'm getting 38% hull strength. That's really good. Almost 40% hull strength, but it reduces my maximum speed by 7.4%. Big deal. Big deal on reduce the speed. Again, the speed's so slow, 7.4% minus from slow is okay, it's still slow. Not a big deal. CPU on every single destroyer you ever build, you need at least one Horizon module. Do not forget that. So every ship, every destroyer you ever build, you will mandatory should have at least one CPU slot, and that is for the Horizon module. And of course, you could do other builds that had, faster lock time. You have enhanced scanner for sensor range. You could do, your critical, improve your critical hit, main weapon spread. That's all good. Nothing really bad goes on in any of these. I don't like modules really that reduce stuff, but on destroyers, when it comes to speed, I will do that. Now, picking your gun, picking your main weapon. I love the coil gun. I would go with the coil gun, but I'm not going to on this build, okay? The coil gun, oh, now here's the interesting part. If you use a coil gun, it's kinetic. Now, when I build the ship, now I told you in the first video you can refit. So I'm going to do a refit here and just show you. Right here on the level 4 bonuses, kinetic weapon spread reduced by 33%, kinetic weapon projectile speed increased by 35%. So if I was going to use that weapon, I would want this one. Okay, that is for sure. Okay, I would not want this one for what I'm doing, and I am using an EM weapon, but a Halo doesn't have a spread really, so I'm not going to worry about the projectile speed. I'm not really going to be aiming at fast targets in this thing. This is not really built for fast targets. This is built to kill frigates and destroyers and anyone flying straight. So I went with the main weapon damage increased by 10. Anyway, so back to here. So I'm choosing my weapon. Coil gun I'm not going to choose. That's a completely different build right there. Mason cannon, I personally don't like it. Some people like it. That's great. If you do use it, make sure you reduce your spread every way you possibly can. Just the spread on that weapon is the killer. It's good against small, fast little targets, but the spread is terrible. So I'm going with the Halo Launcher 11. The other thing is Guithardu Cannon is a real nice gun. You can get those. You can manufacture them if you want. You can learn it. I could build it right now. I just don't want to spend the iridium. And you can also go to trade. They're relatively expensive in trade. Yeah, you see one is in trade right now for almost 3,000 GS. A lot easier just to build it yourself. I mean, 400 to learn it. I've already got all the materials versus 3,000. That's easy decision. Okay, this one down here, Plasma Burster 12, it says manufacturer. Okay, but then you'd have to go to. Okay, for one, look at all these. Look at what it's. It's hard to see maybe, but it says 200 monos, alien composite blocks, 500. Screen batteries 600, processing blocks 500. That's ridiculous numbers. Okay, and then it also says go to, and you have to own the Zeta, have it already built, have it upgraded to level 15, and then you get this thing right here, and then it would unlock the Plasma Burster 12. Which I don't even know if it's any good because I haven't went through the pain to get up to that point. That's a lot of work to get one little gun. Anyway, so let's just not even worry about the Plasma Burster 12. So we'll go with the Halo. Now, ammo, I'm just going to go with the Double Deflector 9. Now, the difference would be if I'm facing a lot of aliens, okay, some missions up here like in Special Ops, these missions are best used for the EM damage on these guys, and EM damage on those, and they're alien, so use resonating charges. Otherwise, use double deflector. Okay, missiles. Now, this is another one. Okay, this is funny. I'm going to go with Static Shield 9. Now, the difference would be here is that Heavy Repair Drone 9. Okay, it's okay. It starts repairing 315 whole points per second. Okay, and it says the most damaged ship in range, which no one's really within 300 meters range of you anyway, so it's just going to repair you. The If you did a complete let's call it a repair. Some people do like repair in the shield. You'd go, well, what is it? What is it? Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, here. A regen build right there. Okay, so if you did a shield regen build right there, so 22%, you can get, let's see, 26, 31, 34% regen speed increase. And you can also get it through the crew. You can get some regen here. Okay, so there is a way to go here where you do a repair. You know, if you're going to take your Desi into open space a lot, which I do not recommend, use a tackler instead, a Federation tackler, use that for open space. But if you decide you want to run a destroyer in open space, run around out there, you're going to need speed, you're going to need to repair yourself. The best way to do it is to, use drones and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of doing that, so I won't recommend it. The other thing is, if you're in open space, don't, go with the volume build, and then if you start getting damaged too much, just jump through one of the gates and jump back. As soon as you jump through a gate, it heals you completely, so you don't even need to do it. So basically, I'm going with static shield. They're not very good. I will warn you right now. They go down. Yeah, it creates a directional shield of 30,000 strength for 40 seconds, but then it seems like if the enemy starts shooting them even a little bit, they just go down pretty quickly. So yeah, they're not great. Anyway, okay, so now we go to actives. Now I went and I cheated a little bit ahead of time, and just to save time, and I went and got some of these ahead of time. Okay, now I love the pyro emitter, so I'm going to throw that on. Now, as soon as I throw an active module on, you're going to see it places it on the ship. Now, on the Jericho, it's got a module there. Let's see, Tempest there. Okay. Now look, if I click off of that, if I click on one of these, it'll take me to the front. Click like that, take me to the back. So this is the top end. So I would rather have the Tempest in the front. So I'll just swap those around. So now my Tempest in the front, Pyro in the back. The reason why I do that is because I think the now I might be mistaken, but I know the pyro shoots right through my ship. So if I was aiming in the direction, it wouldn't be hindered by my ship at all. And in the front here, with the Tempest, it just puts my missiles in a little better spot. And I'm also shooting those in the upper direction because when you fly, you tend to look above your ship. You're not really looking below your ship much. You'll notice this when you fly in a mission. You're always kind of looking above your ship. So I put my main two weapons on the top. Okay. Now the third one, I'm going to go with wormhole projector. Now I like the wormhole projector. Multiple uses. Okay, I've been using these for years. I do like them, and I use them in all types of missions: PvP, PvE, sector conquest, whatever. They come in handy. You need to get somewhere quickly, like this thing with a range of 5,000 meters. That's great. A lot of people don't know, these things will do damage to objects or people you shoot at. Don't worry about that. Don't shoot it, because if you miss them, you're just going to hyper over there. That's a bad idea. Okay, and then the last one, I'm going with grav lens. What I would tell you about grav lens is, if you use a grav lens, you tend to piss people off, especially if you're a newbie. Use a grav lens where nobody's at. You know, it's got a range on it. It's got quite a bit of range, 6,000 meters. You should be shooting it 6,000 meters away from you. If you hit an object at 1,000 meters, it's going to form right there, and then it's going to suck you and your whole team in it, and you're going to look really bad. People are going to yell at you. So if you're going to use a grav lens, practice with it. Just be very aware. You know, don't use it unless you're sure. You know, pointing it at the enemy spawn point, like in a skirmish versus the AI, you're pointing it at the enemy spawn point when no one's around there. Everybody's on our side of the map. You point it over there 6,000 meters. That's great. You know, and stuff like that. Beacon denial. Grav lens is great for beacon denial. After your team runs in, capture a beacon, you would hyper away with it. Use your hyper away with it. Turn around, fire your grav lens at the beacon that you just capped. It will make it flat and possible for anyone in the enemy team to capture the beacon. Very effective. Okay, let's see the other ones that we're not using here. Plasma turrets. I like a, you know, I have a build like it's almost like a PvP build where I would use a plasma turret on one on the top side. I would use the blaster turret on the bottom side, and then maybe a multi-phase shield as well, because that does really help, and that's more like a PvP build. The photon emitter here is very interesting too. It's a fantastic little weapon, and then it in concert with the Halo launcher and photon emitter go together. And you can see here, explosion creates a zone of unstable space. Target's hull loses EM resistance, and the effect stacks. So basically, you peg them with your photon emitter, which does curve just a tiny little bit. It says there 1 degree maneuvering speed. It's not a lot, but if you aim at someone long distance, because it's got a flight range of 10,000 meters, you know, and it works very well at like the big aliens in Spec Ops. You fire that, and then you combine that with your Halo launcher, and then you would throw on your resonating charges, and now you're really doing some good DPS. Now in this build, of course, I didn't put that on there, but it's not a bad option, and I would probably switch it out for uh, one of these. I don't know which one. It's just so many good choices. I wish there was an extra one there. But anyway, that's my build. We could go. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Find the mine gates. We could try a mission and just see how she flies. No, I haven't went through crew. I should go through crew. Um, number one for volume. Sensor range. Yeah, that is pretty important, especially for you have a pretty long range weapon. If you don't have sensors, you're kind of in trouble. Shield regen, so that's a regen, or here's volume. So let's change that to volume. Okay, now that would be good, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do missile and drone velocity. We will keep it to the bottom one. I don't need to worry about ship rotation. I don't need to worry about strafe, but I'm going to keep it there because I do use this for my other ships, so I'm not going to worry about that. The main weapon damage increase, just definitely go with that. I think it's what critical damage. And projectile speed. Now I'm not going to worry about that. You can tune those uh, for what you like. I mean, you need more projectile speed, definitely go there. You know, capacitor volume. Okay, now I I added a module here. Oops, I added a module here for regen speed. Okay, so when I get to crew, I don't want to double do that, so I'm going to go. So I wouldn't want to use it. I'm not going to worry about afterburner use. I'm not going to do that one either, but I do like the volume. Volume really does help. Okay, the more volume you have, if you're a new player, the more volume you have for capacitor, it's just a very interesting kind of little stat in a ship. You will notice, like if you go out into open space in a ship, you hit the afterburner, start flying. If your afterburner goes down about halfway, it slows down how much it goes down. So it gets stronger as it goes down, basically. So your afterburner might use energy all the way till the halfway point, but then it levels out and it stops, so you could fly forever in afterburner. So by increasing your volume, you'll make that work better. So something to know is when it comes to capacitor, volume's good and regen is good. They're both, but they should be used in concert. Okay, and then here I have another reduced recharge time for multi-purpose modules. That's your active modules. I like those. And then the afterburner speed, which isn't really going to affect my daily. Oh, and rank 9s are not even going to be included. Uh, as far as crew for a rank 8 ship, it's going to be rank 8 and down. So none of these will matter for this Archon. Only these guys. Anyway, let's take her for a spin. I'm just going to take it. I don't want to go to that one. Oh, I do need. I do need XP. I really don't want to run around. Oh, tracking station. Well, we'll give it a chance. Hopefully this won't be too hard. Alright, now if you've never flown a Desi before, here's something you should know. Like if I hit control, just hit the control tap at once. Now I'm flying like a fighter. Okay, and I'm flying over in this direction like a fighter. And I hit control again. I have 360-degree rotation. I really don't want to shoot at these guys, but what the heck. Shoot a pyro at them.
Enemy ship destroyed.
Bye-bye. Actually go like that. Switch it back around.